So, Mick Lynch has been back.
Who would you prefer, Prime Minister Sunak or Prime Minister Truss?
Well, I obviously don't want either of them, but I think
Well, you're going to get one of them. So
there's a real danger at the moment, I think, in this Tory contest. I think we've got a hard right cast of people.
Is that a reasonable
I think these are
characterisation?
extremists. These are people that are saying we won't, virtually on the edge of saying that tax itself is abhorrent. And tax is a good thing in a progressive society. But what we've got in this country, and this is never remarked on by the media, even yourselves, those of us that are on PAYE cannot avoid tax. We pay it out of our wages every week. There are many, many people in this country avoiding tax like it's some kind of disease.
BBC actually letting Mick speak for a change. So on this occasion, he let them live. No journalistic carnage left in his wake. But he still spoke the truth in his plain-speaking manner. Ordinary workers doing a job, paying tax through PAYE, cannot avoid doing so. And as Mick says, paying tax is no bad thing. It's a subscription to a civilised society. It allows government to print money to spend on stuff, invest and improve our country because the tax take balances the spending. Any new money created by the government to spend, tax effectively destroys again, controlling inflation and preserving the value of the pound, stuff like that. When people avoid tax, they're impacting on the government's ability to spend as stuff gets cut. A low-tax ideological party like the Tories, therefore, are ideologically opposed to spending on the things we need around us, goods and services. The more tax they can take, the more they can spend and invest. Of course, taxes need to be fair, and when we have to pay, yet others can avoid that because, as Mick says, they see it as some kind of disease, it becomes very unfair. There's £14 trillion of untaxed wealth in this country, whereas we're getting clobbered not just via pay packets, but VAT on stuff we buy, from groceries to fuel and energy, which disproportionately affects us at the lower end of the earning spectrum. The national insurance increase is a vile attack on workers because the shareholder doesn't pay it on their dividends and the landlord doesn't pay it on rent. It's another tax on ordinary workers. Tax isn't a bad thing, but ordinary people pay more than they should, and that makes it feel like a bad thing. Tax wealth, close loopholes. That's fair.